Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode of the PearCast number 6. I got some very special guests here with me. As usual, to my left, we got
Paige Eckstein.
And across from me,
hi guys,
the usual
Connor Potts, hello.
And sitting directly across from me,
hey, I'm Nathan Kaag. What's up?
Nathan Kaag. First time on the stream and podcast.
Guest.
Glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm super pumped.
Moving on to our first story, we have bull penis thieves strike local pet store.
Wait, what? I have a pet store?
Yes.
They're sold.
They have bull
So-
penises there for sure.
They're what for?
I don't know.
What's their purpose?
I think a bull penis might be a dog treat.
Oh, what is it?
Yeah, I have one above my bed right now, and I'm saving for my dog.
Is it actually a bull penis? So you know what these
Is
are.
it dry?
It's dried, stretched bull penis. Your dogs actually go really crazy for it. My dog's a heavy chewer, so they don't last very long. But it's dried meat.
Is it like rawhide? Is it like rawhide?
No, it's not
texture?
like-
No. Is it
it's-
like jerky?
Yeah, it's like a.
I regret asking more
Yeah.
questions about.
I don't
this
think
one.
that this is the bull penis I'm looking for.
I've also heard that they're very expensive. The stores say the two stole hundreds of dollars worth of pizzles,
Oh,
a treat known as bull
No.
penises.
oh yeah.
No, that's their name. That's unfortunate.
I mean,
Getty Images just shows
I
a
don't know
bunch
about
of
pizzles.
animal
but
dicks.
Yep, that sounds about right. Don't Google this one.
I have
Oh,
one that's literally the size of my arm. I'm telling you, it's above my
That's
bed
a
right
big
now.
one.
right.
Bulls got big dicks.
Here's an article here's a Wikipedia article for pizzle.
Pizzle.
God,
Give
I've
me-
never
give me
heard
it.
it by pizzle.
It talks
okay.
about bull pizzle.
Bull pizzle.
Yeah, and
Oh, no.
pizzle is an old English word for penis.
I saw World War II
Holy
down
shit.
I have some pictures of the thieves on surveillance here, which I'll throw up in just a second. But the Pet Zone said in a tweet, "We have video surveillance of them grabbing as many penises as they can and taking off." Here's surveillance of the suspects right here.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh.
You can get a good eye on them. I don't think they caught him.
It'd be funny if they like caught him in the moment of pretending like it was his
Right.
own penis. You know?
Yeah, so if you guys have any
God.
information, please contact Pet
See
Zone.
also deer
Where did
penis,
this-
tiger penis, and tiger penis soup.
Stop it.
Oh no.
Tiger penis
That's
soup?
a weird
Is that also for
Wikipedia
dogs?
hole.
I was looking up what bull penis was used for, you know, like
Pizzle?
if
Let's
there was
use
anything
the
else.
correct
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's a bull
Bull pizzle.
Bull pizzle.
For glue.
And there's a tab called paramilitary use in World War II.
What?
Where,
No, what?
Oh my
This
God.
is just pizzle, not bull pizzle.
Oh.
But it says pizzles were widely used as late as
What were they
1944
if they weren't
by
bulls
local
before?
paramilitary units on the Eastern Front, usually as a disciplinary measure against arrested or bullied civilians. So what? Oh, it's bully sticks are also called pizzles.
Oh.
Are they also bull dicks?
Yeah.
See, look, this is a very.
What else
this
are you
is
going to
a-
use that bull penis for? Like,
It's
otherwise, it's just
hitting-
wasted.
So
I don't know,
bull
sounds like a
penis is
delicacy.
used in a wide variety of things. It's used as a billy club to beat people with, and
Oh, shit.
as bully sticks. Here you
I'd
go.
be so embarrassed to get
I know.
Beat with a bull dick.
Exactly.
I don't know if they're-
That's effective.
It's just pizzle, not bull pizzle.
It's, oh.
I don't know how they use them as
But-
that.
I mean,
Could
what
be.
else are you making pizzles out of?
Yeah.
Good question, dude.
It's such a weird word, man.
Mm.
That's really all I have about the bull penis thieves.
Shakespeare talks about them. He uses the term as an insult, pizzle.
Oh
Moving on to our
my
next
God.
Good
story.
insult.
We have police retrieve stolen mascot costume after sightings of cycling canine. Now, the reason I bring up this story is because of the mascot of it. Oh man, this is the police mascot. It is like a
okay.
furry dog.
Oh,
It is
Dude,
a
that's the
furry
dare dog.
Riding a bicycle.
That might be the dare dog,
That's
honestly.
no, that's a furry.
yeah,
That's
the
just
same
a straight up
thing.
furry version of the dare dog.
Oh my goodness.
RCMP have a collared suspect after retrieving a large dog mascot costume stolen from the Prince George Humane Society. Ever since the
Aw.
costume was taken from an animal rescue van in mid-September, there have been several sightings of someone head-to-toe dog outfit riding a small bike around the city.
So do you think it's
It's a
like
furry.
do you think it's like an asshole or do you think it's a furry exploring their sexuality?
Maybe it's a furry asshole.
Maybe it's both.
A
That's good
furry
point. That's a
asshole.
good
An
point.
asshole furry.
Oh, you gotta
Yeah,
show that one.
I'll show the next picture. Let me get there first, though.
It
Local
freaks
teacher
me
Susan
out.
Phillips says she saw the costume canine with blue eyes, a bushy tail, and a long nose cycling the direction of the courthouse. I thought of Wile E. Coyote, said Phillips,
Why?
who didn't know the outfit was stolen.
For those
Let me throw this
listening-
back up and tell me if
Oh
this
my
fits-
God.
For
if
those
this
listening,
reminds you
For
of
sure,
Wile E.
Wile E.
Coyote.
No.
it
Oh,
looks
yeah.
nothing like Wile E. Coyote.
Dead ringer.
It's like a timber wolf or something. Who steals?
No, it's like a husky.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it
it's like a
is.
husky.
That's true.
It's just like a husky.
Oh,
It's good.
That's a furry in there.
that is-
Nothing against furries,
Chance-
whatever you want, but
Chance the
That's a
mascot, an adult-sized, neutered 2-year-old male husky.
Stop it.
it is a husky.
Why do they have to include neutered in
Specify
that?
it's
So you
neutered.
don't see
Do they
its
have?
dick.
Do they have a non-neutered
They want all the kids to
version?
know.
You don't get your dick
You
cut
can
off
get
when
the
you're neutered.
non-neutered version.
They're just like
Your
furry.
dick doesn't get cut off when you're neutered.
Are
You
there
just lose your
furry
balls.
ball attachments
Well-
you can buy for this?
A good. Maybe there's a red rocket you can add into the front.
Damn.
Oh my
he is
god!
Custom make one.
He's the face of the Humane Society who attends public events and
That's
entertains
unfortunate.
children at animal themed birthday
Furry
parties.
gathering.
Says the
terrifying.
director Terry Lube.
They got everything going for them.
Oh
Um,
my god! Okay.
They went on to say that we actually did not think we would retrieve him, said Lube, who said replacing Chance's costume would have cost between $3,000 and $5,000.
Oh yeah, right.
She's glad that the public sightings helped to bring
I
him
believe
home.
it.
Did they?
That $3,000 for that
And it's cheap.
That's pretty cheap.
for something like that.
Yeah,
Did they
dude.
steam
Imagine how
clean
much
it,
it probably
like,
costs
really
like
well?
$1,000 to get the cum stains out.
Yeah,
of
I
it.
was about to say, what is
Yeah.
it covered in?
I
Um,
hope they cleaned it very thoroughly.
Lube went on to say it's funny, but not funny. You
If
have
it-
to see the humor. It's kind of a new adventure for everybody.
If it wasn't
Holy
his
shit.
problem to deal with, he'd be laughing his
It's
ass
Terry
off.
with an
Oh,
I, so I think it's a
yeah.
lady Terry Lube.
Oh,
Terry
Terry
Lube.
I
Lube.
don't know, man.
Oh,
Terry Lube.
hold on. I just
shit.
went on to find something out. A female was arrested,
Girl furry.
Mm-hmm.
a girl furry,
Was she
but she's been
Fox?
released without charge pending further investigations.
They just wanted their furry costume back.
Yeah, that's it. I thought I might have something else kind of. On Monday, police returned the costume.
Why'd they have it so long?
It was a little worse shape.
Oh, gross.
Now, Lube said the
Gross.
society now has to figure out how to clean the dirty dog.
I
don't like the wording.
Ooh,
I don't like
man.
any of that.
Oh,
I don't
that's
like any of
weird.
that.
That's
Well, I'll
fucking
move on
weird.
to a much happier story.
I mean, that was happy, but that
This
was just
is-
a weird ending.
This is a
Yeah.
fun story. Are you ready? We're moving on from dogs to cats.
Okay.
Male cat needs glucose drip after mating with 5 females in one night in
Ooh.
pet motel.
Wait.
Busy boy.
Wait. How did they know the amount of cats unless they were just like watching?
I don't know.
Like letting it happen? Like
Let me throw
Like
up a
a
picture of this
scientist does.
cat after he got done with his night of fucking 5 different female cats.
Oh,
This
my
cat
God.
looks like
Those look like two different cats.
he looks like he's a drunk at a frat party or something. Passed out.
One of those
my
cats is
gosh.
gray and the other one's brown, though.
No, I think it's just the camera.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's him. A male cat has been left needing a glucose drip after it mated with at least 5
At least
what a
5
player.
females in one night when it was let out of its cage by hotel staff.
What the
That's
fuck?
potentially
Did you
like
just say-
45 kittens right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is in South China.
How did they know about the amount? I stand by that unless they just watched.
Maybe they wanted it to
Definitely,
happen.
like a good scientist does.
So this is a
Is that a hotel?
This is a
These are
pet
scientists.
Oh.
Everyone is a
paid
scientist.
buck.
I think this might be like
Oh.
pet lodging. It's
just
not
have to have the
necessarily
interest.
So some dude's cat
Got left
person's
out-
cat got left out.
let out by the pet hotel owners. They let him out. And Mr. Zhao, who's the owner of the cat, said, I thought they'd be professional, but staff members didn't feed him during the
Oh.
day and they let him roam
Oh.
freely at night.
Wait, they thought the staff members would be professional, not the cats, right?
Okay,
I just
I
wanted
would hope so.
that was the way I took
Just
it.
to
But I just
That's
wanted to
right.
make sure.
All the cats were free to walk around the shop, and then the employee went home. Between around 10:40 and
Oh,
5
no.
a.m., my cat mated with 5 female cats. And those are the
Jesus.
only the ones I could see in the CCTV footage.
Oh my god.
There's your answer right there, though.
How many hours of footage did he watch of his cat bone another cat?
10:45 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Jesus.
That cat's a stallion.
I gotta show
A
it.
stallion of
I
the
want to
kitties.
show its face again because I love it so much. It looks like it's dead. Like just
it looks like
It's
it's dead.
missing its tongue. Hanging
Zhao
out.
claims the
Like
pet
that.
pet hotel staff blamed him for the incident and
What?
complained that some of the cat owners were complaining, or were saying they were complaining because they weren't planning on having kittens.
Then fix your fucking cat.
Yep.
Right?
Facts.
Exactly. He said they had the nerve to be upset with me. They wanted me to explain the situation with the other owners. My fucking cat is exhausted and on a glucose drip, and this is my fault?
I do agree that it's not his fault that his cat got out and banged a bunch of cats, but all these cats should be fixed.
Yep.
Right.
Agreed.
If you don't want to breed them, then fix them.
The pet hotel later apologized and offered to pay for the fluid therapy. I'd never heard it referred to as
Such
therapy.
a
Fluid therapy.
disgusting phrase.
He lost too many.
He had a lot of fluid therapy the night before.
God. He passed around his fluid therapy.
The other owners also told me they'll either give me a kitten or $220 if the cats turn out to be pregnant. I don't know
Oh
why.
my god.
Oh, because it's a Russian blue cat,
Oh.
and it can be worth anywhere from $680 to $2,000.
Wow.
Jesus.
The
Damn.
cat's
That's
since
why that
regained his
cat's not
strength and is
fixed.
in stable condition. He fucked, good for him.
Good for him.
Good job, kitty cat.
His face. I can't get over that picture.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's still up. We can look at it.
Look at it one more time.
Oh my
Look at his teeth.
God.
His mouth's just hanging open slightly. All right.
Poor guy.
Moving on to the next story.
Oh, I love it.
What do we want to do next? How about this? Elvis lookalike steals fake vagina from
What?
from sex shop.
Like a pocket pussy?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, this is in New Zealand.
I've never understood those.
A man bearing a strong resemblance to Elvis Presley has been accused of stealing a fake vagina from a New Zealand sex shop, prompting a police investigation.
This one might tie into what we're going to be talking about later.
Oh yeah.
Elvis
Oh
or
my
fake
god.
vaginas.
A little bit of both.
Ah.
The Elvis lookalike allegedly stole the prosthesis from the Peaches and Cream sex store
Oh,
Great
that's
name.
just-
in the suburban Auckland after a failed
and
attempt to purchase it.
Cream.
I don't know
Is
what
it
that
Auckland?
means. Huh? Yeah, Auckland.
Yeah.
He was very energetic and erratic, going around the shop talking a lot. He bought a sex toy called Like a Virgin up to the counter,
Yep.
but his card was declined. So then
Oh,
he
man.
stole it.
Oh. If you're gonna go in and like steal things, maybe don't do it in
And dress like Elvis.
Yeah, dress like fucking Elvis in a way that you're gonna
Also,
stand
don't
out.
try to go pay for it first.
Right.
And then
Staff
then
member
walk out with
Kat Marr said the man whose Elvis-like characteristics included slicked back black hair and large sunglasses, teamed with a highly visible vest that ran out of the shop with a $62 sex toy in hand.
I
so
like
that's the only reason why he looked like Elvis was he had sunglasses and
Yeah,
sunglasses.
I don't have any pictures of him, unfortunately. I wish I did.
I like to imagine that this was like the easiest theft where he just walks up and is like, I want to buy this, and it declines, and he's just like takes it and just runs out the door.
Well, this isn't Peaches and Cream's first run-in with a shoplifter.
'Cause of
In
course
fact,
it's not.
yeah. In fact, Kat Marr also went on to say that she's just tired of shoplifting incidents. She told the New Zealand Herald she also hoped to track down a woman who allegedly stole vibrating sex toys on Friday before running out of the store and jumping into a getaway car.
Jesus.
She just did it so quickly. She knew what she was after, so she must have been casing it for a while.
Oh my!
Probably like one of those dragons. You know what I'm talking about?
God,
That would not happen at Patricia.
No, that's where fun and fantasy meet.
Dude, you have to get buzzed in and out.
Is this lady not like remotely prepared for thieves in any way? Because it sounds like it's pretty easy to just go in there
Run
and
in,
take stuff.
grab something, run in, run out.
And she's just like, dang it, I wish people wouldn't do that.
I went out there and tried to open her door. I knew she had stolen something. I was going to jump on the boot, which is the trunk. I work 1 to 3 hours on Friday, and this ruins your whole day. No, 13-hour days on Friday. Holy
shit.
shit.
Jesus.
Damn.
At a
And
sex
it's not coming
shop.
out of
I was going to say
Her
1 to
pocket.
3. Yeah, why? I mean, maybe she owns Peaches and Cream.
Oh.
Maybe this is Kat Marr, owner of
Maybe.
Peaches and Cream sex store.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if anybody sees an Elvis lookalike that's taunting his
What do
fake
you
vagina.
do? What do you do if you catch them? It's not like you want it back. You know.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't want.
Yeah, well,
The
you
item
want the
back.
money. You want money,
Yeah.
is what you want.
Yeah.
I'm looking up Peaches and Cream.
What are you finding out about Peaches and Cream
Awkward.
sex shop?
It's
Adult
all-
stores.
It's
got a
really
yeah, we
easy
know
to
that.
steal from.
Oh, shit. Everything must go.
I want there to be like a Google review.
And their website is terrible.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Let's move on to our next story, though.
Okay.
Out of New Zealand and on to our favorite
Ooh.
state in the United States, Florida.
Yes.
This one's not a Florida person, though. This is just a Florida porta potty. Porta potty explodes in Florida. Police find body in the rubble.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Police
Oh,
are
man.
working to identify human remains found among the charred debris of a burnt-out porta potty in Florida.
Jesus.
Residents of St. Augustine neighborhood reported that they heard a loud boom around 6:30 a.m. Saturday around a house that was under construction.
Was it like someone trying to smoke or something in a porta potty and like it lit methane?
I don't think they currently know, but yes, that happens far more frequently than
Does it really?
Yes. So after I read this,
Yeah.
I went on to find out that like porta potty explosions are incredibly common.
Don't smoke and shit.
Don't smoke
Yep.
and shit. That's the moral of this story.
Yep. Well, especially if you're in a tube with trapped methane
Right,
in it.
right.
Like,
Neighbor
It's not
Jan
going
Long
anywhere.
told First Coast News, I heard there were flames 15 feet high in the air. Our land that borders that land is all burned now. First responders arrived about an hour later to find a porta potty on fire. St. John's County Sheriff Office spokesman Chuck Mulligan told the Associated Press that his 32 years of law enforcement, he had never heard of such a fire.
okay, wait, hang on. Did they say an hour later they responded to it? Is that what they said?
I think they might have said
That's
that.
exactly what
What the
this
fuck
says.
is going on?
It
that
says
they're
that
like
the porta
"Eh."
potty caught on fire and they arrived about an hour later.
The
They got other. Where is
flames
this again? Florida?
15 feet high,
you
an
know where in Florida?
explosion.
I mean,
Uh,
if it's
St.
rural
Augustine.
Florida, like
St.
that
Augustine.
could
Is
take.
that
I know,
rural?
like even rural Missouri, it could take a while to get to a house.
I
That's
don't
true.
know. I feel like that's way too long to respond to an explosion with
Right.
15 feet
flames in the air.
Yeah.
It's not clear how the porta potty caught fire. When the fire was extinguished, authorities said the remains of what appeared to be a female were found within the rubble.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah,
there's
the
a
remains have
body.
not yet
Stuck
been
on the-
identified.
we were stuck on the
Shit.
porta
And
potty.
police
Yeah.
have no received missing persons reports.
Jesus,
I would imagine
dude.
it's honestly somebody that's like homeless or something like that.
Mhm.
You know, stopping in a porta potty, taking
Having a
shit,
smoke,
having a smoke.
and it blows up and launches her.
The sheriff's department is asking if anyone may have family members missing. You know, go ahead and
Dude,
call
I'm not
the
gonna lie,
major
when-
crimes divisions.
I thought this story was originally going to go that this dead body was like a missing person.
And they were trying to, like, cover it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope. This is just
As far
probably.
as we're aware, someone probably just blew.
I mean, it
themselves up in a
could have
porta
even.
potty.
I bet you that's.
We
what
keep
happened.
saying a cigarette. There's a lot of things you could
Yeah.
smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you could smoke something, just drop it right down there, and then
Flames
If that's
15
how it
feet high
works.
and an hour later.
if that's how it works.
Which makes like, do you think they could have saved her if they got
What?
there before an hour later?
like I don't know. It
Or do
sounds
you
like there
think
was
she
an
died probably in an
explosion.
immediate-
Anyway, so yeah, they if you have any information on a person who might be missing and possibly in a porta potty explosion, please call the
St. Augustine, Florida.
yeah. Anyway, moving on to our next. I'm going to read this headline and I'm going to play a video. The headline is California woman dreamed about eating engagement ring,
What?
woke up to
goodness.
find she really did.
Oh,
What?
no.
God.
Oh,
Did
So-
is she pregnant or does she just have pica?
I don't know if she's pregnant. Let's hear it in her words though.
Eating your wedding ring, yeah, it sucks, but just poop it out. You'll be
Yeah,
good.
but you have
That's
to
what she
sift
did. She
through
was
every
pretty
poop.
happy about it.
You'll be okay, dude.
Also, that's like a diamond. That shit can hurt.
Also,
you know,
that's
like it
true,
can
but,
fuck.
like,
that can fuck some shit
that's
up
true,
in there.
but like at least she didn't like drop it in the ocean or something.
yeah,
like
that's
that.
true.
Like,
She
you can get
just
it back.
ate
You
it.
just have to
You
wade
just have to
through
poop
some
it out.
shit.
You're
But,
gonna wear the
like-
poop ring?
Huh?
You're gonna wear the poop ring?
I
Oh,
f-
you can clean that.
You got- gotta
I
wear
feel
the
like
poop
the
ring,
bigger
yeah.
concern
If you
is
love
what
'em.
led her to eat it because
Right.
that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's
Well-
something you're either missing something crucial in your diet or you're like pregnant and craving weird
Mhm.
shit.
Let's hear it in her own words.
I crave diamonds.
Maybe.
Dude,
Games take weird turns. Just ask Jenna Evans.
When I woke up in the morning, there's no ring on my finger.
The 29-year-old says it all started with a wild dream about jewelry thieves.
And I was having a very action-packed, exciting dream about a cargo train and some villains,
What?
very James Bond. And in
What?
the dream, my
This bitch
fiancé
was dreaming
told
about
me
eating
that
rings.
I needed to swallow my engagement ring in order to protect it, I guess.
And when she woke up in the morning and it was gone, she had a feeling it wasn't those villains.
Dude, how did that not tear
Couldn't
up
help
her
but laugh
guts?
at it,
That's
and then I had
big.
to wake my
That's a big ass
fiancé up
ring.
and tell him that I had swallowed my engagement ring.
I'm
A
dumbfounded.
quick trip to the
dude.
ER, an X-ray, and
Can't
yup,
believe this made the
diamonds in the
news.
stomach.
Oh
I
my
saw,
God.
you know, my rib cage and my spine and my engagement ring just sitting right there, waiting to be found.
Jenna says doctors
a
recommended
picture of
not
it.
letting nature take its course. They didn't
Yeah.
want the ring causing internal
Makes
injuries.
sense.
Instead, they performed a sparkling sort of surgery.
They
Sparkling?
put
Get it? Like a diamond.
camera down my throat with a net, and they scooped it up and pulled it right
That's
out.
way
That
better.
sounds
She's gotta
fucking
bring back
horrible
some
still.
Yeah.
source material about her little midnight snack.
I'm so grateful
hate this
that it all
reporter.
worked out so that everybody can laugh about it, because it truly is a very funny story.
For today, Gotti Schwartz, NBC
Oh
News.
my God.
So,
No, thank you.
thoughts?
No, I'm good. I don't need.
How
I
do you
don't
do that
need
in
to
your
think
sleep?
about it.
How do you do that in your
How
sleep?
do you swallow
I-
a ring in your sleep
I
and not
struggle
like?
to like swallow pills. I can't imagine.
But imagine
It's
like,
like Hereditary.
it's fucking
Just
weird.
watched Hereditary last night.
how is this in any way like the
She
movie
sleepwalks
Hereditary?
and dumps paint thinner all over
Okay.
herself and her kid.
Yeah, sleepwalks.
Yeah, right.
That's what we're gonna
Okay.
call it in the movie.
That's maybe what's happening
Yeah,
here.
maybe she doesn't actually want to get married.
Maybe it was
Well,
a cry for help. Was she blinking anything? Like,
Dan's onto something. Dreams are important. They have meaning. She didn't want to get married,
That's
so
the
she
takeaway.
swallowed her
Yep.
engagement ring.
Okay.
yep.
That's all you have to do.
Swallow your engagement ring.
Yeah.
Swallow your
It's an old
engagement ring,
ritual.
weddings off.
Yep.
Kaag speechless.
I thought you were gonna say something.
I really hope Sadie doesn't pull that shit.
All right. Well, moving on to something that is an incredibly local story for Connor and I.
This is a good one.
I did send this one to Connor. Connor's aware of this story. It's fun.
Mhm.
I can say that this is where we grew up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this story takes place where me and Connor grew up and spent most of our lives.
Mhm.
Afton man pretends his finger is a gun and stops fleeing suspect.
Stop it,
Does he?
I wonder which gun he does.
dude. I'm driving like this forever now.
Yeah.
You never know.
When Mark Dino Russo witnessed an out of control car careening into two people last week and then noticed the driver apparently trying to sneak away, he raised an empty hand and pointed his index finger at the driver and yelled, "Stop."
Stop it.
It says bad person, which I think it means a cuss word. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping he
for
said
sure.
like, "Stop, bitch.
Stop bad. You're a bad person.
Stop.
Stop it.
Hey,
Stop,
bad guy.
It says, "Stop, bad person, or I'll shoot." And it apparently worked.
Is bad person in
Stop,
parentheses?
bitch.
Oh no.
Russo, 61 of the Afton area in South County, said that about 8:45 p.m., September 26th, he was stopped at a light on Canterbury Avenue waiting to turn onto McCausland. He said, "And I just saw this car, a black sedan, coming fast with its lights off, north on McCausland, and it hit a curb, went up the air, and then rolled, and I think hit a telephone pole," he said.
Jesus.
Damn.
Police said the police report went on to corroborate his story and said the damage was done to a utility pole.
Canterbury and McCausland.
That's right down the
is
road.
8 minutes from my place.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear about
Now
any
you
of
know
this?
how to
No.
like take care of your neighborhood.
I
though.
actually-
Should be a night crawler.
forever, dude.
Yeah, you just did a double? Why is he stopping with one?
Oh shit.
Stop, or I'll shoot. Pull out two of them,
Stop, bad person.
or I'll shoot.
Do you think it just startled the guy and he like
I don't know.
You
this
gotta
doesn't
be
look like a
fucked up
gun.
if
This
you
do you
doesn't
think
look
he
like a
like?
fucking
Do you think he
gun.
like tried to conceal it or something?
like tuck it under
or
his
maybe,
shirt
or maybe
something,
like,
one of
or
those.
maybe like pretend he was reaching back for it or something like that.
Got up into the window
Hey,
and
coulda-
put his fingers
Too.
up
coulda
yeah.
done
Just
that.
went into his
Yeah.
neck. Yeah,
I feel
who
like
knows?
that would still not feel like. a
I
gun,
think the guy was
but I
trying to
don't know.
leave from his car. Russo said that right before the crash, while he was waiting at the light, he noticed a woman on the path near the park. After the car crashed, there was kind of dust and debris flying in the air, and I wondered about her, he said.
I didn't do
Russo
anything
drove
with that.
across McCausland onto the park's lot, got out of his truck, and saw the woman lying on the ground. She wasn't moving, and some other people already in the park were saying it didn't look good. But as the crowd grew, Russo said he looked toward the wrecked car and noticed a young man on a cell phone walking away from the wreck and moving across the park's ball field. He went on to say, "From the quick look I got of the driver, it looked like him," Russo said. "I have no idea if he was thrown from the car or climbed out or what. He was walking away, headed towards River to Pear.
Jesus.
I had a feeling he was going to run away, and I decided I wasn't going to let him."
Yeah, that's
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
great.
Yeah, dude,
to
for
just,
him.
Good job,
Get
Russo.
out and stroll away after that.
With nothing more than your fingers.
Yeah. Damn.
Russo said when he got about 150 feet away, he started to break into a run. First, Russo yelled, "Hey," at the suspect, who stopped and turned around and looked at Russo. That's when Russo, standing behind the open door of his truck, drew his deceptive digit and yelled his command.
Deceptive digit.
That's what it says in the article.
That's not ideal.
Even
You know
surprising
someone was
Russo.
real proud of that line, though.
Surprising even Russo, the stunt took the wind out of the would-be runner's sails. He stopped and put his hands in the air and started walking back. I told him to get back in his car, and he did do that too, he said.
Damn. This guy's got
Dude.
fucking balls.
He
of
must have a
steel.
commanding voice.
The guy was arrested.
Or like a really fucked up hand that looks like a gun for some reason.
But if he was just in like a car accident, then he's probably still pretty shooken up. And anybody in that state,
Right.
if you're really,
True.
if someone's commanding you,
Commanding
if this
you,
dude's
yeah.
at least a bigger guy,
Mhm.
like he could, okay.
Yep.
yeah, you're
like-
gonna be kind of jostled still.
You're
and-
not, I wouldn't, I mean, I wouldn't have ran away from the beginning, but
yeah. Damn. That's insane.
yeah, so they arrested
That
the
guy's
guy and everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's the
Good
hero.
on
He's a
him.
hero.
Good on him.
Hero of the month
He's
right
a
there.
fucking hero.
Good job, Russo. Local hero for us. We don't usually get local stories that are, we don't usually get local stories at all. We don't usually get ones that are.
Local hero
Local
shoots
heroes.
man with finger gun.
Anyway, moving
Oh,
on to our
man.
next story from something local to something not local. Man who broke into Wichita restaurant, ate chicken fingers, and stole lottery tickets. Now, the reason I brought this up is because what they don't say in the headline for some reason is that this suspect broke in without pants on.
Oh, boy.
We're just not gonna talk about that part.
Wichita police say they've identified a man accused of breaking into a restaurant last month. The crime happened at around 1:50 a.m. on August 15th at an Heritage Restaurant at 4551 South Broadway. The Wichita Police Department says the suspect entered the business through a roof vent. As the suspect attempted to slide through the vent, his shoe came off and the shorts he was wearing were torn. The suspect fell into the kitchen and roamed around the restaurant. He then ate chicken fingers out of the refrigerator and stole lottery tickets.
So wait, did he like not even cook them? He's just eating them
He's-
straight out of the
they might
fridge?
even
Hey,
be-
I eat cold chicken tenders all the time.
Do we
I
like
feel like they might not be
frozen
cooked.
ones?
No.
I don't think they're cooked.
They've got to be cooked.
There was also pry damage found. There was pry damage found to a storage shed where an attempt was made to enter. So
Can
he
you-
attempted to enter a storage shed and was unable to do so.
Can you show that picture?
I can show this picture.
Beautiful. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
He's missing a shoe.
He's missing one shoe.
Why doesn't he have
Dude.
socks on?
Dude, his
This
legs,
heathen.
I will say his legs are fucking jacked.
Like-
Like this dude
Dude,
is
he's
He's a
ripped.
runner, man.
fucking
Yeah.
ripped.
No, he's strong.
That's like
And
somebody.
just-
Somebody took a picture of his like the security footage on their phone because his body looks like a very weird shape.
I don't think your phone does that. I think just being born like that does
No, I'm
that.
saying if it's on a computer screen and you're up above it,
I don't know,
aiming
man.
down at it.
This guy's just oddly shaped, I think.
Is that an arm
And, like-
tattoo or hair?
I think it's a little bit of both.
He looks so unfazed by all of
Raiders.
this.
It
too.
is just
Like,
another day
go
for this guy.
Raiders.
Yeah, he just looks so nonplussed.
They caught the guy. They've not released the suspect's name.
I assume he was drunk.
I
right?
didn't say what he was charged
Most
with. I assume he was
definitely.
drunk, but I'll move on to a
breaking in-
story where I absolutely know the man was drunk. Man drank 7 beers before turning himself in, but there was no
heard about
warrant for
this.
his arrest.
Oh, this poor man.
Oh no, it's only 7 beers too. That's not
He had to
like.
bolster up his courage.
Yeah.
A Texas man ended up in jail even though there was no warrant for his arrest.
Wait, they put him in jail?
According to KTVT, Billy Bob Hall thought there was an
Oh,
arrest
Billy
warrant
Bob.
out for his arrest for a parole violation. He went to the local jail to turn himself in, but before turning
no.
himself in, Hall drank 7 Budweiser beers.
7 Budweisers too.
The deputy speaking with the
Jesus.
59-year-old detected this. I'm sorry. The deputy
God.
speaking with the 59-year-old detected the strong smell of beer. KTVT reports Hall told the police he had to drink to build up the courage and turn himself in.
There you go.
But that's not like you drink hard liquor or something more than
Not
7
this guy.
Budweisers.
Well, I mean,
So
if it's your
this-
drink
Does he
of
have the
choice.
Does he have
You
the
wanna know-
tolerance of a Mormon?
Do you want to
like
know why
what
he got
the
arrested?
fuck?
Why?
He got arrested for public intoxication.
Oh, that's
Poor
bullshit.
guy.
That's bullshit.
It might have been a violation of his parole.
Well,
Yeah, I
they
was
said
about
they
to say-
found him to be intoxicated to a level where he was in danger to himself and others.
From 7
Sounds like it
beers.
sounds like
Coulda slammed
if
him.
anything, he was doing society a favor. He said, "I have a warrant. I need to get out there and
Good on him.
take care of this."
Just
You know what I
happened
mean?
to be
The right
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
poor
because
guy.
of that, he violated his parole and got a public intoxication
Poor
charge.
guy.
Poor fella, huh?
I'm sure
No, he's
positivity
just stupid.
plays out somewhere in there.
He's just fucking stupid.
That
That's
is
all
not
it is.
very smart.
Maybe it didn't violate his parole because they said it was public intoxication.
It
they didn't
had
say
to
like
have.
parole violation.
That's true.
Until they say,
They didn't
oh,
mention
because
that.
of that, now you violated your parole.
Right.
So
Oh my goodness.
that's what's going to happen.
That poor guy.
And on to our next story. We have NSW Hotel apologizes for promoting, quote, midget tossing event
What?
and says they did not plan to throw a person.
What's NSW? Where
I
is
don't
that?
know what NSW exactly is.
Is that like Australia?
Nova Scotia?
Is it?
The Great Northern Hotel in Newcastle.
Where's Newcastle?
Why are you asking? all
I
this
think
stuff?
this is Australia. I think NSW is Australia, right?
Had been
New South
promoting.
Wales.
Oh,
Okay, there we
yeah,
go. New
it
South
is
Wales,
then.
perfect.
It is.
The Great Northern Hotel in Newcastle had been promoting a quote Wolf of Wall Street event, a play on the venue's address and the Hollywood film The Wolf of Wall Street to be
What?
held on September 21st. The hotel released a video and poster illustrating a pop-up casino that also said, "If that won't keep you on your toes the whole night, sign up for our free midget tossing.
Oh.
Hit the target and receive a free drink." The video has since been taken down. Management at the hotel released a statement apologizing for the promotion, as well as, quote, "Any comments and sadness of this is brought to the community."
Sadness. Great sadness.
Is this honestly insulting anyone? It doesn't sound like they threw anybody.
They should say little person.
and they
my.
shouldn't be
And they should be
advocating
clarified.
for-
if
They
they're
should
not-
clarify because they weren't actually throwing a person. They were, later on in this article, it goes on to say they were throwing a doll at a target, not human beings.
Then they don't even need to involve little people or midgets or any of those words.
It's-
How tall do they think little people are? The
Unfortunately.
size of
Have they
dolls?
ever
12 inches.
experienced little people before?
3
maybe?
apples high.
They think that they're this tall.
Honestly, this
Oh, my
article
goodness.
is incredibly long, and I'm not going to read any more of it because the rest of it is about why it's wrong.
Oh my.
At least
We know why it's wrong.
I like that maybe some of their readers wouldn't, and they're like,
Yeah,
"All right, so
yeah.
if you're confused,
Let's take this chance to
They
educate.
apologized.
break this
They
down.
said, "We're sorry." And
how many people did that have to get through
at least 3.
to okay
That's
it?
my guess. At
They-
least 3 people had to get through
They
that.
apologized though. They said
They
were
did say
sorry.
they were sorry. They apologized
We're
for
sorry.
it.
They apologize for any sadness.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We only got 2 more stories on the list here. So before we move on to our titular story, where the episode gets its title,
This is a good one.
pornographic video plays on I-75 billboard in Auburn Hills. Police searching for suspects. So what happened was it's like a digital billboard,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 suspects broke in to, I guess, like the control center and hooked up to a computer and just played porn on it. And I
Nice.
have
A clip?
I have
Oh,
I have a news
shit.
clip and I have video of the suspects entering.
Oh shit.
I have a clip that I can actually show on Twitch. So here's the suspects entering. They're covering their faces with hoodies. They got glasses
Oh, they
on.
look like such little wieners.
They look like little kids. They look like pretty young little kids.
I love
15
Breaking
them.
in, they push down the camera.
I love them for this. You go, little Florida kids.
They hook up to the billboard after this. And then they play. Here's a little segment that I
Oh
can
my
show
God.
on Twitch of
This
it.
is incredible.
Is it like porn with a story too?
It's like some, I mean, you can kind of
Holy
see it right
shit.
there.
It's an interview.
Holy.
That's like the pre-porn interview.
shit.
This is a tweet from a resident. It says, so apparently someone was playing porn on a billboard off I-75. Nice.
That is sweet.
Oh my god. How long was it up for?
That is a great
I need
question.
to know How quickly did the police
They started
in Florida, get to this billboard versus how quickly they got to the exploding
well, to be
porta
fair,
potty?
And
this
once
is-
they
I
got
need to
there,
know.
do you think they hung around for a little bit before they did anything about it?
I feel like
5 to 10 minutes.
You'd at least have
Porn played for around
Just-
15 or 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Damn. So they got to the porn billboard faster than the explosion that killed a person. Okay.
At around 10,
It shows where the priorities are.
at around 10:49, two men broke into the shed under the billboard that houses the content controls. The suspect were in the building for about 15 minutes, accessed the computer in the shed, allowing them to display video on the billboard. So they were in there about 15 minutes, and then at about 11, which is about 15 minutes later, the police started receiving calls about porn. So instantly, people were
Jesus,
calling about
dude.
the police department about
Holy
porn playing on a billboard.
Jesus.
The suspect could face burglary charges for breaking and entering the shed, as well as 90 days in jail and a $500 fine for promoting pornography.
Because it's the worst thing ever.
Yep, exactly.
That
It is the absolute worst thing.
Mhm.
It's. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's.
You've
wonder
heard it
if-
here. Porn is the devil.
Porn is the devil.
I
you
wonder
got
if
it.
there were spikes in like public masturbation and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Or,
like
like,
we had to
If they
arrest.
had to arrest.
We had to
some more
arrest
people.
like 15 people.
I
We
feel
were
like-
wondering how they were connected. Turns out it was because there was porn
Yep.
playing
If
publicly.
you can't not masturbate upon seeing pornographic material, like immediately,
Whoa.
I feel like there are some issues.
I can't not masturbate
like,
if I see
right
porn.
that second.
Like when I was watching Game of Thrones, just like I was like, hold on,
It's
guys,
just
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's just pause it.
No, but these
just for
people
a few
didn't.
minutes.
These people didn't do that. Is what you're saying? It's just outside.
They probably
saw
were
it and
at the
instantly were
stoplight.
just like, welp.
They were at the, yeah. The way I envisioned it was they were at the stoplight. They saw the billboard. They were like, "Shit, this has to happen now."
Zip.
Sigh.
It said that there was no accidents that occurred to this, but it nevertheless was a huge distraction to drivers and obviously obscene and inappropriate.
I don't see the problem.
They don't know who the suspects are yet, but he
You
said
go,
it-
Florida teens.
Yeah, good job, guys.
you
I'm
guys
proud of you.
rock. We
They said it was
support
really
you.
dark out, and on the screen it was glowing really bright.
Because it was the middle of the night, and that's
Yeah.
how lights.
Yeah, that's how
work
lights
at
work.
nighttime.
Just imagine that police report, though. Like, you guys, it was really bright from this. We couldn't tell.
Yep.
These 14-year-olds are amazing.
Yeah, they're doing the Lord's work.
They truly are.
You know. Anyway, moving on to our last story here. This is really old, but Connor sent me this. I don't want to pull this up right now. This is a Guardian story that was written in 2014.
Oh no.
The article's title is "The Dolphin Who Loved Me," the NASA-funded project that went wrong.
Oh,
so.
boy.
This has been covered several times. I actually watched a drunk history thing about it earlier
Really?
today. They did a drunk history on it.
Is
What? Tell me what you think you know about it.
this where Dolphin started to like kind of try to rape people? When they had him
Dolphins,
cohabitate.
by the way, I'll let you know, dolphins have been trying to rape
Yeah,
people
forever.
since people and
No,
dolphins have
But
been
this
a
is
thing.
where they had like a female trainer that like stayed
Yes.
with one of them.
Jesus.
Do you know they have prehensile dicks?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Keep talking about their prehensile
Dude,
dicks.
Yeah,
What
little known
dolphins are-
fact.
Awful.
They can
For-
fucking wrap their dicks around shit and they're goddamn rapists.
If you're pregnant, you're not supposed to get in the pool with male dolphins because male dolphins will hear the second heartbeat and it, for whatever reason, it drives them insane sexually. And like, I remember hearing a story about this on
Dolphins
the news,
suck.
not that, well, I guess it was a couple years ago, but a lady didn't even know she was pregnant. And she was swimming with dolphins in this pool and the male dolphin wrapped its dick around her leg and dragged her to the bottom of the pool to try and fuck her to death, basically.
yeah, dude.
And a female dolphin saved her life.
Nice.
Separated her from the male dolphins and brought her back up to the trainers.
Dolphins are fucking
pretty cool.
monsters.
Dolphins
Why
are
are we
insane.
trying
Male-
to save
male
them all the
dolphins.
time?
Well, let me tell you about this one
Can't trust dolphin
particular,
girls.
this one particular male dolphin, and his name is Peter. And this is the story of Margaret Lovat's love for her dolphin Peter.
I know this story.
Her dolphins.
You heard this story?
Yeah, I know
It's
this
pretty
story.
crazy. So
It's so fucking weird.
I'll just give you like the quick lowdown of it.
Her dolphins.
Carl
Peter.
Sagan. Carl Sagan. This other dude whose name I already forgot. Right? They're talking. They're
Okay.
like, hey, this book comes out. This book came out all about dolphins. Dolphins are super smart. The whole world's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Dolphins are smart. We had no idea dolphins are smart. Okay? So
Dolph.
dolphin research is off the fucking chains.
Mhm.
It is off the rails. Everybody's like, we got to learn more about these dolphins.
They're so smart.
They're so smart. Dolphins are so smart. We got to learn more. Let's teach them English. is what Carl Sagan was saying. Well, actually, no, sorry. Carl Sagan was saying, let's learn their language.
Yeah,
right?
That's
And the man misinterpreted it.
that's fucking
as,
stupid.
Let's teach them
Let's
English.
teach them English. So
Okay.
So now they all speak English.
Margaret Lovett is hired.
Makes them better rapists.
to help research these dolphins. And they make like this private chamber. Like she loves researching this dolphin. Like she has her office.
I bet
It's like
she
built
does.
I was gonna
over
say.
the dolphin tank, and like her bed's next to like the
sleep
dolphin
together?
tank. Like basically, yeah. So they start having some issues, and we're gonna watch this video real quick. We're gonna watch pretty much all of it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Them talking about what's unmuted.
else was affecting her work with Peter.
Peter.
They have sexual urges. I'm sure Peter had plenty of thoughts along those lines.
Peter liked to be with me. He would.
This is
rub
Margaret.
on my knee or my
Lovett
foot
speaking.
or my hand or whatever, and I allowed that. I wasn't uncomfortable with that.
What
As
the
long as it wasn't
fuck?
too rough.
Peter had caused Margaret some minor injuries on her legs and stuff of pushing like an obsessed suitor.
In the beginning,
He
when
humped
would get
her.
rambunctious and have this need, I would put him on the elevator and say, "You go play with the girls for a day."
They would go send them to fuck other dolphins, basically. They would lift him up this elevator into
Peter's
another
urges
tank
grew more frequent.
and go fuck other
Process
dolphins.
of transporting him down to the 2 female dolphins to satisfy him proved disruptive.
It was a pain in the ass to do.
And Margaret felt the best way of focusing his mind
Just you
back
start
on
jacking him
lessons
off.
was to relieve his desires
Yep.
herself.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
It was just easier to incorporate that and
Was
let
it?
happen.
Was it, though?
very,
Let it
precious, It was very
happen.
gentle.
What?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Peter was right there. He knew that I was right there. Again, it was sexual on his part. It was not sexual on mine.
Sure, lady. Whatever the fuck you
It
say.
just become part of what was going on.
This is
I think
bestiality
just
and animal
scratch
cruelty
it
that
and
this
we'll be
lady
done.
is just
Move on.
not even batting an eye
that's
at.
really all it was. I was there to get to know Peter.
Oh
That was
yeah.
part of Peter.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
see her eyes?
That. Yeah. Oh,
They were
my
bugged out.
God.
Veterinarian.
This is.
I wondered about poor Peter. This dolphin was madly in love with her.
And poor Peter, he was right. Because later on, the same man, I can't remember, I wish I had this man's name, who was basically running the whole experiment, paying everything, funding it all. He started doing some LSD. You know what I mean? Everybody does a little bit of LSD.
Of course.
And he's like, oh my God, this is the fucking ticket. This is what we
Of
need.
course.
This is what we need to speak to the to let the dolphins
jack
speak
'em
English.
off?
No, to let the dolphins speak English. So Margaret's giving him hand jobs to keep him relieved all day. He's making some
my-
progress. Like
They're
we're
spiral.
learning that they are very smart, intelligent animals. We're learning a lot about them.
Yeah, we are.
But then he decides to give the dolphins LSD in an effort to communicate with them.
That's not how you do
So
it.
they start dosing poor Peter with LSD.
Oh, poor
Eventually,
thing.
Carl Sagan gets word of this happening and says, "What the fuck, man? That's not what I said. I said we're going to communicate with the dolphins, not teach the fucking dolphins English.
Yeah.
They're dolphins, dumbass."
You can communicate with chimps and stuff like that.
Carl
Teach 'em
Sagan.
sign
language.
language. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and they
Sign language is very
from what I
different than
understand,
spoken
Margaret did
English, though.
it did like we
And you
did
know-
learn a lot about the
Yeah.
animals and
With
it really did
Coco,
help.
we never jacked her off and gave her LSD.
That's my point.
To your
I
knowledge.
mean, we did we
far
didn't
as
jack
I'm
her off because
aware.
Coco doesn't have a penis, but we flicked her bean like crazy.
Okay, yeah, let's
All
not
right.
go there.
Anyway, this,
We didn't.
She was sexually interested in Robin Williams when he.
yeah, that's true.
And she
he's-
was
he's talked
really
about it.
sad.
Well, speaking of sad, Carl Sagan got word of this, shut the whole project down.
Good.
Peter-
Thank God, Carl Sagan.
Peter was transferred to another dolphin research, like a shitty
Didn't he
dolphin
die
research
of, like,
facility.
heartbreak?
Hold on.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't die of heartbreak. He died of a little thing that gets a lot of people called suicide. And he swam to the surface and didn't breathe.
Stop it.
And killed himself.
Dolphins can do that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Dolphins can kill themselves.
A
And
lot
when he
of
was
the
separated
flippers
from
killed
Margaret
themselves.
and no longer getting hand jobs, he killed himself.
He was
So
a
he just
sex
swam
addict.
to the bottom of the pool and didn't
Yeah.
breathe?
Yeah.
No, the top.
No,
No,
Why-
it'd be the bottom because they breathe air.
he swam to the
They're mammals.
You're right.
top,
you're
and
right.
I thought, I couldn't remember. He either swam to the top or the bottom, and
Either
didn't
way,
breathe.
several dolphins have done
That takes
That's
like
how he killed
Lots
himself.
of dolphins have
that
done
takes
that.
like
Fucked up.
willpower.
That's like
right there.
that's like a fucking Virginia Wolf. Fill your pockets
Yeah.
with
Pockets
rocks
with
and
rocks
walk
and
into
walk
a
into the
river.
river.
Yeah, that's determination.
But even that
Oh,
takes like
Jesus.
you can take the rocks out of your pockets, but
Yeah.
like, to just hold yourself down there
yeah, until
while
you drown.
So Peter died, and honestly, Margaret Lovett didn't really give a fuck. But there is something good that came out of
It
this.
wasn't sexual for her, Dan.
Wink,
You're not.
wink. There's some I
She
can't remember.
stared way too like directly into my eyes that whole time.
I can't remember the exact act it was called, but basically, because of this, you could say that this is a good thing. But because of their really, really shitty treatment of Peter and everything bad that happened, and all the research that they did, came out the protection against whales and dolphins as intelligent species. And I guess, there's all those protections on dolphin and whales. I can't remember what the act is called.
Who's protecting
moment.
people from the dolphins, though?
Yeah, I mean, I ate
Dolphins are rapists.
I ate whale a couple years ago. It was pretty good.
Where'd you eat
Really?
it?
Norway.
Well, that's not in the United States.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
laws in
I
the
don't know
United
what
States.
kind of whale it was either. Maybe it wasn't
Weird.
one of the protected ones. Maybe it was just one where they have
Yeah.
like way.
There is
we
a
have
lot of
way
different
too many
types of
these
whales.
Fucking whales. Eat
But
some.
anyway, because of that, those laws came out. Margaret, I believe, is still alive.
Did Margaret ever get charged with fucking
What?
hand rape.
bestiality and
rape.
animal abuse?
No, I heard today if you find her, she's jacking off like little clownfish and stuff like that.
Sounds right.
No, actually,
bitty clownfish.
she helped write The Shape of Water.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not sexual for her, but here's an entire fucking movie about
joking,
fucking
I'm
a
joking,
fish
I'm
guy.
joking.
This is how the dolphins like it to be done. This is how I want it portrayed in the movie.
If a dolphin were a man.
Hand jobs are spirally dicks, so
So this
Oh
Guardian
my
article is a
God.
good read. It's really long. I'm not going to read a lot of quotes from it. I feel like the best quotes are actually in that BBC video we just
Fucking
played.
NASA funded this.
NASA did fund this for a little bit. And then Carl
NASA.
Sagan pulled out once he realized that they were dosing.
Thank
Once they
God.
realized that they were dosing little Peter with LSD and giving him hand jobs all the time. Carl Sagan was like, I don't want my name on this. I'm a space guy.
he pulled out.
He pulled out never to come back.
This was like right before we landed on the moon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I've heard that the moon's powered by whale semen. I mean, dolphin semen.
And
my
Will semen.
Yeah. But anyway, that
The
can,
moon's powered by that.
That's so fucking weird. That's so fucking weird. That's so fucking
Yeah,
weird.
it's a pretty weird story.
But
But anyway, that's going to conclude our news segment here. We're not ending it there. We have to continue from where we last left off on our last episode with Connor's Conspiracy Corner.
Now, where did we end last time? Donald Marshall today.
Last time we were on the podcast, we talked about Donald Marshall. We talked about the clone zone, as we called it.
It was the clone
It
zone.
was the
all
clone zone. We introduced everybody to the clone zone. We introduced everybody to the idea of human cloning.
Mhm.
A lot of it was in Donald Marshall's own words, who is, and of himself, a clone. And we briefly touched on where Don is now.
Not to
and
mention music he wrote,
the music Don wrote.
including one of your favorite songs, Somebody That I Used to Know.
Somebody
by
that I used to know by Goat
That's right. I
the
forgot
talented
about
Don Marshall.
And Duck Sauce.
right.
Yeah, it's Goatsy, right?
Goatsy. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But anyway, we promised, and we're going to touch on it this week, to talk about the Vril Society. So, Connor, take it away as best you can, bud.
Okay, so I'm just going to preface this by saying a lot of it is complete and it's just an incoherent mess. But
Really?
from not unlike the stuff we read last week, but we're going to start out. Now, we're going to go back up a little bit. Now, the Vril Society have been something that have been around since this guy. His name, what's his full name? I know his last name is
Adolf Hitler?
No. The guy that wrote the book.
Oh.
Well, I know his last name is Bulward Lytton. I don't know his
I'll look
first
it up
name,
while you
but
continue.
he wrote a book called in 1871 called Vril: The Power of the Coming Race.
Edward.
Edward. All right, so Eddie.
Eddie. Our
Wrote
buddy
this
Eddie.
book.
Good old Eddie.
1871.
Eddie wrote this book in 1871 about a master race of beings who call themselves the Vril Ya, VRIL dash
Yeah.
Vril Ya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the book, and then we're going to go back a little bit, forward a little bit in time. They call themselves the Vril Ya, and they claim to be descendants of inhabitants of ancient Atlantis. And they have access to an extraordinary force, a sort of super energy called Vril. Just simply
Okay.
Vril.
Hang on though.
Yeah.
If their ancestors were, where have they been since then?
Underwater.
Oh, they've been hanging
Atlantis.
out underwater
I
in
guess
Atlantis.
so.
The
Okay.
Lost City.
Cool. Okay.
Get with it.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
The truth is they haven't been anywhere because they're not real, but that's just for the sake of the podcast.
Okay.
Like I said, they claim to be descendants of Atlantis, and they have this access to this extraordinary force called Vril, which is essentially an unlimited source of energy that supplies all of their needs and anything like that. And I have another quote about it real fast. Let me see if I accidentally closed the tab or not. Okay, so this very, very reputable source, it's actually just Crystallinks. Crystallinks.com, not even Crystal Links.
All right.
Krista.
It's
Krista.
all one word.
Crystal
Links.
Yeah.
Crystal.
It's
oh.
like Crystal. Oh, maybe it's Crystal Inks.
Crystal Inks.
Crystal
Yeah,
Inks.
there you go.
Mm,
Okay,
okay.
crystallinks.com says their source of power was the black sun, an infinite beam of light, which, though invisible to the human eye, exists in antimatter. So their emblem became the black sun, okay, the Vril.
Okay.
And these beings, let me bounce back to that other ones. There's a guy that we're all familiar of.
What's his name?
His name's Adolf Hitler. And we're going to go a little bit forward in time from when this book was published. That book was published in 1871. This takes us up to post-war World War I, post-war Germany. It's about 1923. Hitler is named new leader of the new Nazi party,
Mm-hmm.
and he attempts to overthrow the federal government. Look at that, man!
I threw up a good picture.
Nazi UFOs are
We got
are
a
big.
ahead and
Are
Hitler.
big
display
within
that.
this. I
a
think.
picture of a Nazi UFO
And a blueprint.
and a
in the
blueprint for a
background.
Yeah.
Nazi UFO that I found while looking up Donald Marshall.
Nicknamed
the
what
Vril
Bob
Society.
Lazar called it, sport mode.
What?
Sport
Bob Lazar,
mode?
the Area 51 guy, nicknamed the UFO that he found there sport mode or something like
Sport
that.
All right.
mode.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry
a
to throw that off.
tangent.
Okay.
That's a
Sorry to
tangent.
throw
Okay.
that off.
Back to
basically,
Hitler.
Hitler, he tried to overthrow the federal government and he was arrested for treason, right?
Mhm.
He was awaiting trial in this prison and he read the book that we mentioned, Vril, The Power of the Coming Racist. Now,
That's true, right? Like that's
I mean,
as far as we know, that's
I assume
maybe
so.
true.
That
I
happened.
haven't done much work to verify that.
Okay.
But I have done a little bit, and from what I see, there are several articles written about how he at least read that book
Okay.
and attempted to act on it. So now this claims that he would send once he read that book, he believed it to be true, and then he was made Chancellor of Germany, right?
Yep.
He would send teams of spelunkers into caves and mines all over
Like
Europe.
that movie, The Descent.
Yeah.
Mm.
Classic. Oh, maybe those are the Vril.
Those might be the Vril. They are lizard people. Did you mention that?
We're getting there.
Oh,
We're getting
shit.
there.
Fuck.
Slow,
You
slow your
spoiled the
roll.
entire
Fuck.
podcast.
Sorry.
Slow your roll.
Okay, so he sends these spelunkers into caves and mines, right? He's looking for the Vril Ya. He sends expeditions to Asia, specifically Tibet. Nazi explorers, they make tons of these. They basically are building up some friendships with the lamas there. Not animal llamas, as was brought to my attention earlier.
Like the Dalai Lama.
Yeah,
Like the
one
Buddhist
L, one L.
llamas.
Which I
The
did not, like I
llamas.
said, I did not know they were
Yep.
called the llamas.
I didn't
Yep.
actually either till Paige informed us. earlier.
So they supposedly had expert knowledge of underground caves and tunnel systems and all of that in the area and just around the world, I suppose. And they guarded, supposedly, the legend has it, is that they guarded a secret entrance to the inner world, they called it. No, and the entrance itself was called the Red Door. And there's a lot of strange words here. The Red Door, hidden within the Potala Palace in the mountain city of Lhasa. Once
Okay.
and then after that, a Nazi-Tibetan alliance was formed, and they kept searching for all of these areas.
Did
right?
that happen? Did that happen historically?
Sure.
Did Tibet and the Nazis have a
Sure.
thing?
Yeah, absolutely. The
okay.
llamas. The llamas said, "We agree to share
Okay.
all of this knowledge with you that we've attained over several centuries, right?" And it just so happens that the llamas were hiding An indigenous race of lizard.
Okay.
Let's just roll with it, right?
Like,
Okay.
and can you describe these indigenous race of lizards?
An indigenous race of lizard.
Human-like?
That's how I would describe
Would
them.
you describe them as humanoid lizards?
I would describe them as an indigenous race of lizard.
Okay, fair.
'cause
Okay.
That's all the information I can
Okay.
actually find on it.
Okay. Fair enough.
So these lizards have been living deep within the planet since prehistoric times, they say.
How do they know? Are there prehistoric cave paintings?
Hey, there might be actually.
Mhm.
Now, these lizards were named the Vril lizards. Okay,
Did they call themselves that? Can
After
they?
Vril,
Can
yeah.
they speak?
they can do a lot of things. I
Okay.
think so. We might be starting to learn more, and I think Dan's right that they might be humanoid lizards
Okay.
because it says
How else are they going to call themselves anything?
exactly.
Just
I'm
for
picturing-
comparison, they're basically what are they? Lizard people.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was
What are they
picturing
called?
Argonians.
Argonians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They're basically they're same
Don't
thing, same
imagine like a
concept.
leopard gecko or something that says
talks.
Except
I'm
I'm
the
pretty sure
Vril.
Donald Marshall specifies many times that they are not aliens.
yeah,
They are native to the land. Like
Yeah.
they have been here
Okay.
since before time.
prehistoric
yeah,
times.
Yes.
Which I want. How
And
do
they
you
live-
know that?
Well, because Don's in
The llamas.
Are they
It's-
finding prehistoric lizard tools?
It's the llamas. You just have to trust them. Now these Vril lizards, they knew the location of an abandoned military base, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the time of Atlantis.
Okay.
It, unfortunately.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they knew of a military
Who's they
base.
knew of a military
The Vril
base
lizards,
from the
the
time
Vril
of
lizards.
Atlantis.
I thought you just called them villagers, which I
No,
really
no,
like,
the
and I want to call them.
villagers.
You
Yeah.
can call them that if you
So
want.
the villagers.
So the villagers.
So the villagers that lived underground and were hanging out with the llamas and everything, they knew about an abandoned military base near Atlanta. Or I'm sorry, not near Atlanta.
Georgia?
Not near Atlanta from the time of Atlantis.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That makes more sense.
This military base was filled with ancient aircraft, weaponry, and technology hidden within the tunnels and caves of Antarctica.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Obviously.
these lizard people, I guess, the villagers,
the villagers.
they traveled underground from Tibet to Antarctica.
Who I assume are cold-blooded if they're lizards.
must be,
How are they
sure.
chilling in Antarctica?
Who
Like,
knows? Now,
Aren't all lizards cold-blooded or no?
yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
Hot
Yeah.
springs. They're bathing all day.
Yeah, it must be
But like, why?
like the
Antarctica?
Palicos and Monster Hunter. That's what that reminds me of. Okay, so these lizards say we have no use for this tech. We're happy living underground here with you llamas and everything. We don't need this.
We got
So
our
they
bros.
said we will trade all of this abandoned ancient technology for something that they really, really wanted.
What do they really, really want?
Human flesh.
Why?
Oh, I was gonna
Tasty.
guess children.
The lizards
For
I
jerky?
wasn't too
the
far
lizards yeah.
For
So-
what are they called?
What?
So the lizard leaders, they
Full
have a
penises?
Dick
jerky.
jerky.
They have a
Oh,
jerky
pizzles?
factory.
Pizzles.
For some pizzles?
Yeah.
They needed some fresh human pizzle.
That's hot.
Oh.
Okay, but no.
Honestly,
seriously.
I heard it's a tasty
the lizards
pizzle.
were
Tastes like pork
carnivorous
pizzle.
and they preferred human flesh, so they ate human flesh, right?
Okay.
So a deal was made. The Nazis got this Atlantean tech and sold out the human race naturally.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now we're gonna jump a little bit further ahead. Not to any specific time.
The year is 1979.
Okay, so now let's back up to our friend that we met last podcast, Donald Marshall, right?
Donnie. What's up, Donnie?
I hope he's doing
Missed
good
you,
out
buddy.
there. Haven't
He is
checked his
not
Twitter
doing
yet.
good.
Have you checked his Twitter?
I'll look
since-
up his
okay.
Twitter. We'll give some Donnie
Oh.
Marshall updates
so
at the end.
See
once
how
again,
he's doing.
satirical. That's on our end. The
So
police
where-
and
so where-
ambulances are not chasing you, by the way.
No. So where are the villagers after
So
World War II?
according to Donnie Marshall,
Mm-hmm.
Donnie.
this is not the first time that the Vril lizards have interacted with humans, okay? He claims that for centuries, not just back to the 20s, but for centuries, royalty and powerful heads of state and trusted religious leaders around the world will have kept secret a pact with these malevolent lizards. he
To feed
calls
them people
Yes.
in exchange for tech?
So-
Human flesh.
This is where it comes into play with the clone zone that we covered. Okay? He says that world leaders would receive valuable resources buried deep within the planet, such as gemstones, golds, other material stuff like that. In exchange, these leaders would conceal all evidence of the Vril from the surface population. So we would have no idea that they ever existed. Okay? And because they were helping them hide the Vril lizards, they still needed a supply of, like, they were giving, the Vril lizard said, we'll give you all this shit, right?
You just give us
all you have
people.
to do is hide us and give us people.
To eat.
Okay.
To eat, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so he says, keeping the Vril hidden, it kind of leads into something here. They're a parasitic race, okay? So they have the unique biological ability to invade a human body.
What?
In what way do you mean invade? Like,
Think about, have you seen those videos of like the snails' brains that are being
yeah.
that are taken over by a parasite and then they're controlled?
But the parasite is like significantly small. Do these things like crawl up your butthole? Like how do
Or
they
your
get
dick
there.
hole, or
Don't
your
worry.
urethra.
How big are they?
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get there. I do have something about that.
They're like nematode sized? Like
Are we talking parasect giant mushroom on my head? Like,
maybe.
yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it could be like that.
Okay.
Now, where was I again? They have this. They can take over the body and the brain and access our memories. Okay.
You know, like parasites do.
Yeah,
course.
and so because of that, they can control and basically, essentially, become us. They are us. After a period of recovery, though, I guess from my understanding, whatever the lizard does, the lizard man, the lizard boy, he can go dormant within the brain, so you can regain full control. But then at certain times, he can take it over again. It's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
The film?
Yes.
The
short-
real life event.
The short 2007 film.
Oh, the invasion?
It's on Vimeo.
Okay.
Oh, I just made that up.
There's a
so-
lot of versions of Invasion.
Is there
of Body
really?
Snatchers,
no.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now the scary thing is that according to Donald Marshall, we've already been invaded a very, very long time ago.
Fuck! How long ago?
So at least since the 1956 sci-fi classic, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Fair.
Okay.
No, it's longer than that. So they have a biological drive, as I said, to invade and dominate and take over, pretty much.
Eat our flesh.
And he says that these Vril lizards have been teaming up with the Illuminati.
Right,
So
of
now
course.
Makes
we learned
sense.
last week a little bit about the
a
Illuminati.
little
but
bit about the Illuminati and their cloning.
The
centers.
Illuminati is, in this sense, in this cloning and body snatching sense, they've teamed up with the Vril lizards and supposedly the Scientologists as well.
Oh, that's right. I
okay?
forgot they were thrown into the mix.
Yeah.
Scientologists are in this as well. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So now,
all right,
these Vril lizards have been body snatching people at varying degrees of power all over the world and holding these positions as their own, which is how we've come to the great theory that we are being led by lizard overlords. Lizard
wait. So
people
there's
overlords.
both lizard people and clones walking around.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
tie in. They
Both.
tie in.
Are you
together.
going to get to
Okay.
Yeah. We're working.
these? Do relate.
I'm giving
Okay.
The
all
Vril
I'm
Society
giving
and the
whole
clones
story.
are completely related.
So these Vril lizards can body snatch, and that's just a separate part of all the cloning.
And can you describe body snatching to us?
Yeah, I actually have it right here. Okay.
Okay.
So, according to Donald Marshall, once again,
Yeah.
the source to end all sources.
Yep.
We don't need anybody else. Vril lizards, I'm going to read this word for word because it is very strange. Vril lizards have a natural proboscis. Is that how that's pronounced?
Yes, sir.
At the top of their head, from which they eject a thick type of cerebrospinal fluid. When this fluid enters the human, usually through the eye and from there to the brain,
That's hot.
a chemical transformation immediately begins to take place. The victim essentially dies, leaving the lizard parasite in complete control of all brain function.
Worst facial ever.
After a period of recovery, the Vril host can return to its regular activities, looking and acting and seeming completely normal. So he takes over through some...
So it like jizzes in your eye and takes
Essentially,
over.
essentially,
You
yeah.
die.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's terrible.
So the
Well, that
Illuminati,
sounds
they have
awful.
special body snatching ceremonies to celebrate these lizard body snatching
Yeah.
events.
Okay.
Guests watch as the victim
What kind of
conscious,
guests?
You know, Illuminati guests.
Celebrities.
Yeah.
And top
Jay-Z's
ranking
definitely there.
top ranking lizard
Yeah.
officials.
Beyonce's hanging out in the
Mhm.
background.
Yep.
Raptor
They have-
Jesus.
All of the
Obviously.
leopard geckos are just hanging out in the
Yeah.
back. The guests watch as the victim, conscious, though usually bound, is restrained and forced to sit still until the lizard transfer is complete.
Oh no.
Donald Marshall has seen this happen
Firsthand. He's seen a lot.
several times.
Shit. Don Marsh, why aren't you doing anything?
Well, that's what he's doing now.
You could have stopped all that lizard jizz
could
going
have.
on.
He could have. So basically, the Illuminati they harness this ability of the Vril lizards in order to further their own sort of dark whatever their agenda, whatever they have going
which Don
on,
doesn't
right?
really specify. Ever.
Yeah, no, they're just trying to get in control of as many things as possible,
And to have
in
our
the world,
memories.
I believe. Yeah,
Okay.
and to have our memories.
Okay.
So, with all of this, it's very important to understand Vril psychology, basically. Okay, so
Okay.
all Vril lizards want to be human.
Well, who
okay?
doesn't?
Yeah,
Fair.
they realize shit. We suck.
We're a
We want to
bad
be
species.
human, so
Do you
we
think
can
people don't like us because we
not
keep
live in the
jizzing
dirt.
in their eyes?
maybe. So they admire the human intelligence and the beautiful human form that we have, which
We have
leads me
some
to believe that
sexy
they might be
bodies.
disgusting.
Yeah.
They're
what do they
lizard
look
people.
They're
like?
Yeah,
Argonians,
yeah.
but there is that lusty maid.
Ooh.
The
Yeah.
lusty Argonian maid. So, like I said, they admire human intelligence and the beautiful human form.
Yeah, dude, titties
They
are
don't
nice.
want to live underground anymore. Okay,
Okay.
they're tired of living
Why don't-
underground.
Why don't they just live up here and not take over?
That's the thing. If you saw lizard people crawl out of the ground in your backyard, would you accept them?
I would step
I mean,
on them
maybe
as quick
after
as
I
possible.
talk to them.
Well, I guess how big are they? We
I
gotta determine
mean,
that.
honestly, I imagine the average lizard person's like 5'3".
That's a good height.
We might know a few
Dude,
of
but-
those.
Shit.
But if they're
No
lizard
one.
people, how long are they?
Yeah. What if they're like
That's-
real long?
Do you think they have tails?
If you step on the tail, does it pop off and does it regrow later?
Only if you grab it.
Makes sense. Okay. Okay.
Now, we're gonna skip forward just a little bit.
Year's 2048.
No, 1940 actually,
Oh.
or 1940s, I should say.
Okay.
As I've said, these lizards have been underground this whole time, right? Dark caves and tunnels, hanging out with the llamas in Tibet,
Of course.
and the Nazis also. Apparently, some royal families kept Vril lizards as pets. By the way,
Wait, what? They seem
Yeah.
like intelligent beings.
yeah. Well, I mean, so are pigs.
Dolphins.
Royalty
And
hasn't
dolphins.
exactly been known for being good to
Yeah,
things.
yeah. So,
throughout history.
so let's
Very
jump
fair.
forward. The 1940s, the Nazis had agreed on a secret pact forged between them and the lizards, making them essentially allies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually something to elaborate on this.
Yeah.
I was actually reading while you were looking some of this up, and apparently the David Bowie song "The Man Who Sold the World"
Oh shit.
is about this exact.
Really?
You're kidding.
No, David Bowie knew about it.
Did Donald Marshall write it?
Donald Marshall probably wrote it. Yeah. No, I don't know if David Bowie. Let me clarify. I don't know if David Bowie wrote "The Man Who Sold the World" as a reference to this, but at least Donald Marshall claims that "The Man Who Sold the World" is about this. Let me clarify.
Got you. That makes so much more sense.
I feel like my brain's gonna leak out of my ears, you guys.
It probably already has been, to be honest. So, as I was saying, the Nazis and the lizard people,
Right.
they formed this pact, right?
With the
This
llamas.
pact, yeah, with the llamas
With the
and
llamas.
and the Nazis and the lizards.
Okay.
It required directing basically tremendous resources to assist these lizard people,
Mhm.
including building of military bases underground, and the lizards would use these to basically interact with humans, at least humans that they were friends with, Nazi
And not
humans.
eat them. Or
Yeah,
jizz in
and
their
so
eyes.
it would allow them. It would allow them. That's how they set up these massive, basically government-sponsored body snatching events to
Mhm.
happen. So from there, we got to ask a question real fast. We'll take a side note. Why
Pivot
wouldn't
and divot.
anybody? If it's truly been that long, why wouldn't anybody try to stop it?
Yeah.
Why wait until now?
Yeah.
Right. Why is Donnie doing it now?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
isn't it? Why is Donnie the only one?
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you think?
We're all actually lizard people already.
No, I think
Huh?
the
Mhm.
clones are taking them out. Or no, I'm sorry, the Vril's taking them out and replacing them with clones. That's my theory. What you got, Keg?
Dude, I can't get past the lizard jizz.
It is hard to move on from. So Why have clones if you're just gonna have these lizard people take over the people anyway? And
Wait,
have
I don't
them
even
go
know if
out
I'm right.
again?
What?
I just said that.
Well, Don Marsh says there's clones,
Right.
but there's also lizard
It's
people
just-
inhabiting people. Like
It's not so much that
nematodes?
the clones and the lizard people are like, I don't know how to word it, but like, they're not the means to the same end. Like, I guess they are. Like, they're just different forms of trying to accomplish
The same
essentially
goal.
world dominance. So
Right.
like they have different segments.
but the
right?
Vrils have nothing to do with the clones. Didn't
They
create
do
them.
in the sense that they're all involved with the Illuminati.
And the
Okay.
Illuminati is
lizards,
responsible for
the
the
Vril
clones.
lizards have become
Why
more
doesn't-
sort of like
Why don't the Vril
allies to
lizards
them.
take over the Illuminati if they're so powerful?
they totally could.
Why don't they?
Because they respect humans.
Somebody's got something.
Because humans have beautiful bodies, and you really think they're going to destroy Beyonce's body?
Yeah, maybe that's why.
They're gonna take it over, not
Now
destroy
there was
it.
something that we mentioned last week about how the Vril had that ability to. That's how they did the REM cloning.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wasn't there something about that we were talking about? Do you remember what that was?
What I don't. The REM memories is what they would use for the cloning.
I thought that they had gained it through a Vril ability, but now that I thought that, I can't find anything about it. But I could have just been making.
It's crazy.
That up
It's
in
almost
my
like it's
head.
not true.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Anyway, so let's jump forward a little bit, okay?
Okay.
All right, past the Nazis.
I have a photo. I wonder if I could find it. If you could find it, maybe Google it while I'm talking about it and see if you can find it. Salvador Dali, the Spanish surrealist painter, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had a photo he released in the 1950s with an unknown creature in the background of it, right?
Is it just his pet anteater?
It doesn't look like a pet anteater.
Okay.
Dude, it could just be a sculpture.
It
Yeah, it's Salvador fucking Dali.
spoiler alert, it's most likely a sculpture.
All right.
Let's just go for it, right?
What's in the background of it?
Supposedly a Vril lizard.
Oh yeah.
Wrapped up in bandages and everything.
That's a Vril lizard.
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 second, I'll pull it up.
I think it's just a sculpture, seeing as the guy is a
Blow it up.
not that thing, the thing in the back.
Yeah, right. There's
They
a thing in the
say-
background. There's
He's
Salvador
holding up-
Dali. He's holding up like looks like a dead bat.
Yeah, but they're
Um,
talking about the
And then in the background, there's what looks like a mummy.
It looks like a cartoonish
It looks-
1950s
Exactly,
mummy. Though.
exactly.
Like, yeah.
It looks like a mummy from the original Mummy film.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
now this just says word for word. Dali was well known for bizarre, arresting artwork and public stunts. However, one can only wonder as to the message delivered in this disturbing photograph. What does it all mean? Is it possible this shows the artist with the discarded remains of a Vril lizard?
Oh, and that was what he was supposed to be holding?
No, I
Yeah, the discarded remains of a Vril lizard.
Look at
so
the
it's supposed to be
background.
what he's holding.
Right.
So that's not very big.
No, it's a tiny. That's why they respect
So-
humans.
Let's assume that is. Let's just pretend for fun's sake that is the discarded remains of a Vril lizard.
Okay.
They're fucking small. No
They're
wonder
tiny.
they can't overthrow us.
I could kick
Yeah.
that thing.
It appears to me that why they don't overthrow us is because they're small, and also, like they said in the celebrations, they essentially steal somebody and then tie them up, and then they do the body snatching lizard
So they
thing.
need somebody to like tie him up.
So I think
first.
they need somebody to hold the person down.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
So let's jump back to that process a little bit, okay? The process begins when the lizard ejects its quill.
Which is like the cum.
Yeah, it just so happens to also be a sticky material
Oh.
A sticky white substance known as the quill.
containing the
Okay.
brain and spinal cord through a proboscis. at
Huh,
the
you know
top
what?
of its
You know
head,
what
right?
semen looks like? A brain and spinal cord.
Okay.
Bingo. Dan hit the nail right on the head.
Okay.
So these beings, okay? Let's just pretend for a second that they are in fact real. There's a few things that some people consider proof, okay? The
Mhm.
first one was what I just showed you, the
Salvador
Salvador
Dali.
Dali
photo.
right.
Okay.
proof.
Yeah, makes sense.
Proof. Quote unquote proof.
Yep.
They talk about how this specimen that he had resembles a dead carcass of a kind of a ray, like a
Yeah.
stingray or that kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
So it could look something like that. Occasionally, Donald Marshall says that the carcass of a dead Vril is discovered, usually in some isolated area.
I would like to say really quick, we just got an outside source saying that is a stingray that Dolly is holding.
Oh, it's in fact 100% a stingray?
Yep.
Exactly.
Outside source.
As we had to say earlier, that it is most definitely
It's
not
definitely
a dead
stingray.
Vril
Yeah.
lizard. But I'm just going over the so-called proof that has been,
Right.
published for the people, right?
Okay.
So just on top of that, where was the other one that I just had? It appears that there is much lack of physical evidence.
Really?
Yeah, you don't say. Right.
What?
So now the way this all turns,
shocked.
the way this all connects with the clones is that, from my understanding, essentially, we talked about the Illuminati a lot last week. Like we said, the Illuminati essentially befriended these Vril lizards, and now they're part of a bigger umbrella that's trying to get control of everything in the world. So these lizards, these Illuminati, and also the
Scientologists.
Scientologists,
Yep.
right?
Everybody's all here.
They're all teamed up to essentially take over the world in as many areas as they can. So you have the clones with REM cloning and things like that.
Okay.
You have the Vril lizards and Scientologist cult. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's pretty
All right.
simple there. But from my real understanding, it appears that this is all just complete bullshit.
What?
And that
No.
this guy likes this Vril book that this guy wrote in
I think
1871 or
I think
whatever it
Hitler
was.
did read it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it would make sense that if
Hitler would read a book called The Coming Race and then go on to
Exactly.
do what
Exactly.
Hitler did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
so the cloning stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's outrageous, right?
Yeah.
It's a little
But
kooky.
it at least makes
What?
Some sense.
you can put
In
it into order.
comparison.
You can put it
Right.
into order and
You can tell a
make
story.
sense of it and tell a
Yeah.
story in that direction. This Vril stuff is just complete nonsense.
It's
all
very hard
over
to
the place.
understand.
It goes from
I need to read more about these Tibetan llamas.
and that's the thing is that,
That are helping
just
with
when you're starting to
lizard.
get to the interesting part like that, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, and that was it. And that's all you need to know about that.
I want to know more about the evidence of these Vril being prehistoric. Like, I'm very curious about their evidence of them
let's see if
existing
I
that
can
long.
let's see if I can find some more stuff real
I mean,
fast.
My natural thought about that would be that they somehow survived mass extinction and they just continued to advance into tiny little
Lizard people.
kind of
Now-
like how
But like, how do we know
chickens-
they've been around that long? Are they telling us
And
that?
lizard people could have existed at some point, you know? I just have
What?
a real hard time believing
what?
that
What did you just say?
they could have existed at some point.
Okay.
Prehistoric era?
I guess.
Not literal lizard
I mean, I
like
guess.
intelligent human beings, but you could have
I guess in the same sense that anything we doesn't know
Lizards.
that existed.
We have no
could have
idea.
existed.
Lizards have existed.
know?
Is that what?
I mean,
Maybe
dolphin
there were-
people
maybe
could
there
have
were-
existed.
damn, dude.
And they could have been fucking making everybody give them hand
My
jobs.
point is we all look at these
Dolphins are
creatures.
in on
We
it.
all look at these creatures around our planet and think that's normal looking.
Right.
But imagine if you were like an alien and you looked at a dolphin. What's the weirdest creature you can think of?
Dolphins are fucking weird.
No, but like looking. I think turtles look
Uh,
fucking
weird
weird.
as Pugs
Turtles
are pretty weird.
Pugs
Ooh,
are pretty
damn.
fucking weird.
Pugs
Yeah,
are look freaky looking things.
That's true.
Dude, goblin sharks.
Oh, yep,
That's a
That
good
is-
one.
yep.
That's a real good one.
Chameleon.
So now, do you want to take a little bit of a side route into this body snatching and talk about microchip heads? You want to cover
I've
that?
read a little bit about.
Do we want to save that
Microchip
for
heads
part
and
Or do
dead
we
three?
want
chips.
to? Do we want to just?
I think we. How much do dead chips relate to what we're talking about in microchip?
In
heads?
terms of body snatching?
Yeah. Should we
That's-
just save body snatching for part 3?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, the Vril Society makes a good part too.
I still have a few more things I want to cover.
Yeah, let's
though.
just
Not
keep
very
it to,
much, but I'm
let's
gonna
keep it to
wrap things
Vril,
up
and
here.
then we'll work on microchip heads
Okay,
and body
because
snatching for
the
part
body
3.
snatching and the microchip heads turn. They kind of combine a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay.
So
We'll say body snatching then.
let's just say that these lizard peoples exist, right? There are
Mhm.
ancient stone statues in this island called Nuku Hiva, in French Polynesia. See if you can find some pictures of that. NUKU space HIVA.
Nuka Viva.
Nuku Hiva.
Wait, what is this?
There are stone statues. I'm gonna see if we
Okay.
can find some pictures of them.
Yeah.
disproportionately elongated heads, wide mouths, and huge eyes. They've caused some people
That's
to
not it.
speculate whether or not they're a
Is that it?
representation of.
No.
Well,
These are
that might
stone
be the island.
statues.
Yeah,
Dude, those statues look weird. Some bug-eyed looking.
yeah,
Oh, here we go.
There
Wow.
All right.
Wow, yeah, let me throw this up.
yeah. Accidentally close. to
Some
tab.
like crazy bug-eyed looking alien statues. So wait, is this supposed to be
Yes,
some
that's
type
it.
of
That's
proof?
it.
They're terrifying looking.
Well, it's not necessarily proof.
Okay.
Um,
Who made these?
it's not necessarily proof, but it is one of the conspiracy theories thoughts.
okay.
You know
And that this is supposed
that these
These are
could
lizard
be
people?
These are
could
Vril.
be
Villagers.
interpretation of
Villagers.
the villagers. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So let's go on and say these Vril lizards have coexisted with humans since
Yes.
ancient times. We've discovered
We've
that, right?
well established that. Yeah.
Okay.
In the past, they were either seen, depending on who you talk to, I'm sure, if you were out walking in the street, saw a Vril lizard, somebody would either say, wow, that's a god, and worship them, or they would say that's a fucking demon,
Murder
And
it.
Get it
murder
away
it.
from
yeah,
me.
yeah.
right? They played many different roles in the history of mankind, have been called many different things: demons, demigods, guardians, or even, unfortunately, distant ancestors. People think they are.
What?
Wait, what? They
Yeah.
think like we're descended from the Vril?
Yeah. yeah
Okay.
Yeah.
You know all
Which-
the similarities we have with lizards.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
amphibians.
sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
People are born with tails.
And also, like,
Soaring
another
monkeys.
problem I have with this,
Yep.
if the Vril are so fucking intelligent and
Right.
can do all of this
Why do they
crazy
like
shit,
us so
why
much?
do they want to be us? We
Yeah.
can't do anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
We're
well,
like,
I mean, you
we're-
know,
we
we
can
went to
start a
space.
fire and cook food and go to the moon once in
We can
in
smush
60
them.
years.
Yep.
we can.
That's what
Yeah,
they
they look
want.
tiny.
What if they were actually that big, though?
What is
They have big old fucking heads in that.
what is that fetish of being like smushed or crushed by a very large woman? Because
I
it's a
have no
thing,
idea.
and I think they have it.
I have no idea.
You heard it first, Vriller into whatever that big.
Crush fetish?
There you go.
Is that actually
That's
the
what-
name of it?
That's what came up
Vril
when I
have
looked it
into
up.
are
Yeah.
into a
So
crush
these Vril,
fetish.
they come into contact with very few humans throughout the years. They
Yeah.
don't want to be known by the general public or anything
Right.
like that. So they use the protection of several generations of royal families.
Okay.
Which is who
Like
we
Queen Elizabeth.
discussed
Right.
last time. She may have had a Vril house pet or something like that.
Probably
right?
did. She probably called it Peter and jerked it off.
Yep.
Also, privileged politicians, spiritual leaders such as the lamas, they agree to assist these lizard. It keeps calling them just lizards,
Right.
but they're
Lizard
lizard people,
people.
I guess.
They're villagers.
Really.
So then we have their ability to body snatch took on sort of a spiritual significance, and in ancient times it was seen as sort of like a divine transformation
okay.
of yourself. So for these people that worship the Vril lizards as gods, they thought, wow, I'm becoming a vessel for this god to speak or live through me or something like that. There were also attempts of Vril infestation, building of housing structures high on cliffs, as is the case in the Anasazi Indians of New Mexico. So they've already came all the way over to New Mexico, and they're native to America too.
Such a shitty state.
Yeah. And to be honest,
Strong feelings about New Mexico. Damn.
another thing, the bubonic plague may have been caused by Vril lizards.
Why?
Were they like little fleas? Are they that small?
No, like they caused
They
it to
just-
wipe out society.
I guess so, dude. Like I said, the vast majority of the information I've gathered is
That could have
completely
been-
nonsense.
Now,
That
is,
could've been-
and
okay, the bubonic plague makes makes your lymph nodes turn into giant black balloons and you like bleed and pus everywhere, right?
See those
Those
things on
were-
top of their
Absolutely.
heads?
Those were eating people.
Yep,
And
Right.
they fucking made them all gnarly. Why wouldn't they just eat them?
pretty much.
Why would they give them such a gross plague that people like? I wouldn't want to eat a plague person.
Maybe it's a delicacy.
Maybe.
Those giant black
Kinda like
swollen
veal.
lymph nodes. Mm,
So in the end, it appears that
this grossed
the
myself
Vril
out.
lizards are just another way for these people at the top to control the rest
right,
of us.
like they're
right?
working with the other people at
Yes,
the top, like
yes,
the Illuminati,
but-
the Scientologists, the Vril.
Donnie Marshall.
Donnie.
Now remember,
Good old
Donnie, our
Donnie.
boy.
Now remember, he's a clone. Okay,
Mhm.
course
He
Of course.
says, he says
Yep.
he's a clone, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure he entirely agrees with these Vril lizard statements. I don't know if he's entirely convinced that they're a part of all of this. This is just something that's encapsulated essentially in the rest
Didn't
of
he
his.
say he's seen the body
I
snatching
do-
ceremony
Yeah,
multiple
but
times?
I mean, he doesn't believe like certain aspects of it.
He does definitely believe this.
Okay.
I have a quote here.
Let's hear it.
I've written about this before and I will say it again. The German Vril Society did not invent saucers. They back engineered them from Atlantean designs they found underground.
Oh yeah.
So this is where the Vril really tie in. Okay, they're used as people to just overtake the world, and in return for them getting places of power in our society, our governments and the world leaders and the Illuminati and all that get access to these Atlantean technologies that Dan talks about. But Donnie Marshall says the Vril aren't gods, demons, or monsters.
Okay.
They're just
What
a
are
bunch
they?
of stinky lizards.
Damn.
They bleed red and die.
Fuck yeah, Donnie.
Those are
What a-
some strong
Yeah.
Those
words.
are some strong words and a
Shit.
good place to, I think, end the
Fuck
Vril.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
And we don't ever need to talk
So
about that again.
Well, is the
Oh
Vril
my
does the
God.
Vril tie into the body snatching at all?
I think maybe a little bit, but I just
Well,
don't want to think.
I'll let
about
you guys
that
know right
anymore.
now. On the next episode, we will touch on body snatching and how this relates to Donald Marshall. But before we wrap it up, I just want to give everybody an update on Donnie Marshall's Twitter, as
Oh,
we
yeah,
as
I'm
we are
looking
one to
forward to
do. You want me to
this.
throw it up on here?
Please.
It's a lot of just evening,
Oh my.
good night,
Shite.
good evening, all. But then he's got one about Clara Delvine, who we were
Oh.
just talking about. She's made a new jewelry. Wait.
Oh my
She has
God.
new jewelry, and she has an 8-pointed star symbol, which I guess is the symbol of the
Did you read what was in
clones.
parentheses?
And then in the parentheses it says Meteoric cloning.
So straight
And they
up.
released it on his
That's awesome.
birthday.
Yep.
Just for you.
Yep. And they released that jewelry on his birthday. So she's a clone too,
Man.
apparently.
Makes sense.
They're all
Um,
clones.
Makes sense.
It's just a lot of normal
So-
Clones are
tweets,
lizard
honestly,
people.
Let me
done.
just let's just go around the table real fast. Pick one person that you think is most likely actually a lizard person in disguise.
Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Wow.
I do. She is I appreciate her and a lot of things she does, but she is one of the most unhuman people I've
You're
experienced.
not wrong.
Yeah.
That was immediate.
That was quick.
Yeah.
She knew.
There was
She knew.
I've thought
When
it.
I think of a
Have you
lizard, I
seen
think
her,
of
Have
Hillary
you
Clinton.
seen her emote? She always
That's
has
a good
to like
one.
think about it for a minute
fair.
and be like, "This is human."
That's fair.
Smile
Mark
now for
Zuckerberg.
people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Sweet baby Ray's. Sweet baby Ray's. Have you seen that video of him saying "Sweet baby Ray's" over and over again?
Mark Zuckerberg? No.
Oh my god.
I think he's a lizard
Yep, I
person.
could
He's
see
a
that.
clone or a lizard person.
Who's your person?
Oh man. Honestly, my immediate thought went to Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
he's a
that's fair.
Scientologist.
I know, man.
That's fair.
He's just
Maybe he's
looking
their
for a
inside
circle.
man into the Scientology, huh?
Mhm.
I mean, I that's not something you get out of. Dude, Scientology scares me so much.
Nope.
What about you, Connor?
David Bowie.
Oh,
You shut your mouth.
Paige is a massive
I
David
only,
Bowie
I only
fan.
said that because we talked about that song earlier.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to conclude this segment of Connor's Conspiracy Corner.
It
this
was
is
a mess.
That
part
was
2 of Donald Marshall, part 2 of 3, right?
Yeah.
We're going to end it
maybe
on
4, 5,
maybe
6.
4, 5, who knows?
I feel like I need to research this more, but I don't want this in my Google history. Like I don't want the
Very
shit that's
fair.
gonna pop up from it.
But yeah, that's where we're going to wrap up the podcast, guys. We will continue this on the next episode, episode 7, where we will be talking about body snatching as well as next month's
Also,
funniest news.
microchip heads.
Microchip heads, dead heads, all of it.
It's like worse than the. It's just.
I want a
keeps getting-
fucking T-shirt that
keeps
says
getting
"Deadheads"
deeper.
with
It
like a
just
dead
keeps
microchip in
getting-
someone's brain. I kind of love
Ooh,
that.
that's got to be a shirt on the
I
merch
fucking
store.
love that.
It just
Oh,
keeps
man.
getting
Yep.
dumber.
Yeah, it keeps getting dumber, honestly. And I would like to, before we go, last time.
Don't engage.
No, I'm going to engage. We got some really, really mean comments. Some of them I'm not going to read, but one of them I'm going to read. Notice how they did not go further on the Vril Society.
Here you go. Here you
Bitch,
go.
eat it.
Now,
We're right
Talking
fucking
all
here.
about the villagers.
for those who watch this video after we post it on YouTube, please educate us.
Yeah.
Help us make sense out of this
Listen.
complete
No,
bullshit.
I don't. Fucking
We're not
wanna
a part
know.
of it.
Educate.
We're not a part of it. We're not a part of this
I'm not
Vril
engaging.
Society. We're not lizard people yet. Come on,
Until they-
guys, save us. Some of the comments went on to say, Donald, this is Astro Genius, said, Donald may or may not be telling the truth. The world will never know. And you know what? Maybe.
I
we
feel
have
like
no proof
the
at all.
world knows.
However,
though.
Probably.
Didn't they respond to that?
An idea.
No, they did not respond to that.
Who was the one that responded to their own comment, like backtracking what they had just said?
One person named Quiet Bunny, which is a very nice comment. I will say this is one of the nicest comment. Just to let you know, Donald Marshall has made no money, which is something we weren't sure about last time. So maybe this is true. Maybe made no money off of any of the stuff he's talked about. Also, from what I know, he really doesn't like the public attention or spotlight. This is something this man truly believes. He's telling,
which I think is
he telling the
does
truth
really
or
believe.
mentally ill? It seems to me, the more I dig into this subject, looks like Donald Marshall's becoming more and more credible.
See, that's not what I would
Yada,
say.
yada, yada. She then goes on to comment later, it's true, sorry, but it's very true. Earlier, she was saying it
Now
may or may
look.
not be true.
And
Donald
she
Marshall
found
tells
out
the
now.
truth. The truth is stranger than fiction.
Oh,
I think we've stressed
Jesus.
at every point. We are not.
But that was a very
trying
nice
to
comment from
rag
Quiet Bunny.
on Donald Marshall.
Not,
himself.
No.
We are
No.
trying to present his evidence
As in his own words,
in his own words, We're
as
not
best we
changing
can
anything
possibly understand it.
because we think it's interesting.
Yeah. And we'll be continuing talking about some more Donald Marshall. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for the comments and thanks for watching the video. Let's, get off that thumbs down button a little bit though.
Yeah.
On the next one. On
I'm
this
gonna make
one.
a few alts tonight. and
Don't say that. Don't do that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the PearCast. If you want to find more episodes, you can go to danpearbig.com/PearCast. All of the episodes are on there, but you can also find us. Of course, you're listening to us now. So iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, you can find us. And you can find me on Twitter. I am at DanPearBig. Paige?
I am at Not Quite Heroes, HEROES, but I don't really know how Twitter works. So find me
she
on
doesn't do
other
it.
social media platforms instead.
Yeah, she joins me on Twitch, twitch.tv/DanPearBig on Saturdays, and you play Nintendo games.
I do.
Connor, what about yourself? What do you have to plug?
You can find me on Twitter. It's what is it? I always forget my Twitter.
The
name.
Lord Otter Games.
It's the Lord. Well, it's the Lord Otter.
The
Games
Lord Otter
on
Games.
Twitter.
Oh, I was gonna say
On Twitter, it's the Lord
It's
Otter.
the
Games
on Twitch.
because one of them's taken on one
Right.
platform and the other one's taken on the other
Right.
platform.
That's
So I had to mix things
annoying.
up a little bit. Other than that, you can catch me Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Lord Otter.
Sweet.
Making it
Yep.
official.
Keg, what about you? Got anything that you want to say? You don't have to.
No, I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for having
Glad
me.
to have you, man. It was a lot
Thanks
of fun.
for joining us.
Yeah, well, that's where we're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time. Stay vigilant.
Check your heads for
Check your heads
Soulstone
for
microchips.
Soulstone microchips.
Don't get jizzed on by lizard people.
Yep, watch out. If
They
a
aim
lizard
for your
comes
eye.
at you. Yeah.
Wear goggles.
Yep.
Perpetually.
And the wish of my heart could be granted. I would wish that you loved only me.